In the quiet cradle of in the quiet cradle of space where sunlight moves like a slow river of gold, a lone astronaut drifts. Her name is Ilara, and she has been alone for 57 days. The hum of her spacecraft, that gentle, endless vibration of machinery, has become her only companion. It isn't loud, it isn't sharp, it's just there, a constant, comforting presence. A soft like a lullaby whispered by the stars themselves. Ilara floats through the central corridor of the Asterion 9, her gloved fingertips brushing along the cool walls. Every sound is amplified in the stillness. The faint crackle of the oxygen recycler, the low purr of the artificial gravity stabilizer, the soft whisper of air against her visor. She has stopped talking to the onboard AI days ago. It's not that it's unfriendly, it's just too predictable. Every response comes the same way. Perfect, mechanical, without warmth. The hum, though. The hum feels alive. When she closes her eyes, she can hear it pulsing through the metal, like the ship itself is breathing. Like somewhere inside that labyrinth of wires and panels, a heart is beating softly. Sometimes she hums back, a low note almost inaudible through her lips. The sound mingles with the ship's vibrations, and for a moment she feels not quite so alone. Beyond the window, the stars shimmer, tiny points of light scattered across the infinite dark. They flicker gently, not twinkling like they do from Earth, but steady, patient, ancient. They have no need to perform here. She imagines their silence as music, a grand symphony of stillness. And inside that silence, the hum grows clearer, more defined, like a voice half heard in a dream. It started, she remembers, on day 32. She had been repairing a solar relay outside the ship when she noticed it. A tone, faint and rhythmic, not from the ship, not from her suit, just there, in the space between. It was beautiful, impossibly soft, impossibly far. Since then, it's come and gone. Never intrusive, never frightening. Just there, a hum in the dark. Sometimes, when she drifts to sleep strapped inside her narrow bunk, the hum grows almost melodic. It seems to change pitch, shifting in waves like it's singing to her, or with her. She dreams of oceans, of wind, of the sound of rain on her childhood window. And when she wakes, she can almost feel the echo of those sounds lingering in her chest. She spends her days tending to the plants in the hydro bay, tiny green miracles growing under lamps. The soft hiss of water, the hum of pumps, the faint whisper of her gloves brushing the leaves. Each sound becomes part of her daily meditation. She whispers to them sometimes, her voice barely above a breath. "You're doing so well," she says to a small sprig of mint. "You're so strong." The mint doesn't reply, but she swears the hum changes, deepening, almost approvingly. On day 60, something shifts. The hum becomes clearer. Distinct tones emerge within it, like a pattern, a slow, rising melody followed by a pause, then a gentle descent. It reminds her of the whale songs she used to listen to in training, those ancient voices calling across the ocean's vastness. Only this ocean has no water, only stars. Ilara adjusts her recording equipment. She tries to capture the sound. The machine registers nothing. Silence. Only the ship's mechanical rhythms appear on the graph. And yet she hears it. Softly, persistently. She wonders if it's in her mind, an auditory hallucination born of isolation. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like connection. At times, when she's in the observation bay, she closes her eyes and lets her body drift free of the safety rails. She spreads her arms, feeling the suit's subtle resistance. The stars outside look endless, so close, yet impossibly far. The hum rises again. It's as if the universe itself is exhaling. That soft, soothing note fills the chamber. No source, no direction. It just exists, vibrating gently in her bones. She hums back. Her tone is shaky at first, then steadier. Two notes, one hers, one the cosmos. They merge, and in that moment there is no ship, no mission, no earth waiting far below, only harmony. She keeps a journal, her voice barely a murmur. It's not loneliness anymore, she whispers. It's something else. Like the stars are aware, like they've been singing forever, and I'm only now hearing it. Her breath fogs the visor for a moment, then fades. Outside, the hum continues, steady as a heartbeat. The onboard AI sometimes interrupts her meditations. Commander Elara, your pulse rate is elevated. Are you distressed? No, she replies softly. I'm listening. Listening to what, Commander? The quiet, she says. The AI hums briefly as it processes, then falls silent, as if it, too, is listening. She begins to hear patterns in everything. The hum of the recycler sounds different at dawn. The solar panels shift their tone with the sun's angle. Even her breath seems to fall into rhythm with the stars outside. She wonders, could this be the music of the universe itself? Or simply her mind making meaning out of the void? Either way, it soothes her. The more she listens, the more peace she feels. On day 72, she notices something new. When she hums, the ship hums back, in sync. The resonance matches her pitch, just slightly delayed, like an echo. She experiments. A low makes the lights flicker gently. A higher tone makes the glass tremble, not dangerously, just enough to shimmer like crystal. It feels playful, responsive, alive. She records the experiment, whispering her observations. It's as if the ship is aware of me. Not conscious, but present. Like it's listening through the metal. Like the hum isn't mine or the ship's, but something shared between us. The hum answers with a deep, slow wave, a vibration she can feel in her chest. It's warm, comforting, almost like a hug from the cosmos. That night, though night means little here, she floats in her bunk, the lights dimmed to a soft amber glow. The hum surrounds her like a cocoon. Each tone feels deliberate, each vibration a wordless phrase. And somewhere between wakefulness and sleep, she hears it whisper, not in words but in emotion. It says, "You are not alone." She dreams of drifting not in a ship, but in open space, her suit gone, her skin bare to the starlight. The hum becomes a chorus, 1,000 gentle voices weaving through her mind, not speaking, just being. She feels them like warmth, like sunlight in her chest, like peace. When she wakes, there are tears on her cheeks. The hum is still there, soft as ever. She smiles, whispers, "Thank you." Weeks pass. The mission data continues to stream home. Her vitals are strong. Her voice logs become slower, softer, less technical, more reflective. "I think space is alive," she says one day. "Not like we are, but in its own way. Every particle, every vibration, it's part of a song so vast we can only ever hear the smallest note." She pauses. The hum responds, low and loving. She smiles again. "I think I'm learning the melody." Sometimes she wonders what people on Earth would think if they knew she spent her nights humming to the stars. Would they call it madness, isolation, or maybe enlightenment? It doesn't matter. Here, in the quiet womb of space, the labels fade. Only the sound remains, a vibration connecting her to everything. She takes her meals in silence, listening to the gentle whir of the heater, the soft click of utensils on metal. Even chewing feels rhythmic, part of the pattern. Everything hums. One day a transmission comes through, a voice from Earth. Her mission control officer, tired but cheerful. "Asterian 9, we see your readings. You're doing well, Commander. We're proud of you. You'll be coming home soon, home." The word feels strange now. Home is this, the hum, the stars, the silence. Still, she smiles. "Copy that," she says softly. "Home soon." When the signal ends, the hum shifts, a note of sadness, or perhaps anticipation. She whispers into the quiet, "Don't worry, I'll come back someday." The hum replies in kind, a soft descending tone, melancholy but kind. On the final day of her mission, Elara sits by the window, watching a distant nebula shimmer in purple and gold. The hum is everywhere now, in the panels, in the air, in her heartbeat. She presses a hand against the glass. Her reflection stares back, eyes calm, smiling faintly. "Thank you for keeping me company," she whispers. The hum rises. A chord of impossible beauty fills the cabin. It vibrates through her bones, through her breath, through her very soul. The stars outside seem to shimmer in response, like 1,000 lights blinking in rhythm. The sound builds, not louder but deeper, until she feels weightless, as though her body has dissolved into the vibration. She closes her eyes, smiles, and hums back one last time. Mission Control receives her final log 3 days later. It contains only one file, an audio recording titled "The Song." It's nearly silent at first, then slowly a gentle hum emerges, soft, layered, infinite. It rises and falls like breath. The analysts can't trace the source. It isn't mechanical. It isn't cosmic radiation. It isn't human voice. It's something else, something alive. When they amplify the final few seconds, a faint whisper becomes audible, a single word almost lost in static. "Listen." And in that silence, the stars keep singing.